Welcome back to my canvas. Today we're taking a trip with...
Strawberry Shortcake.
It's a 9x12 wrapped canvas. It had some heavy warping, so some water on the back tightened that up so I could work on a smoother surface. I don't think water is a permanent fix though, so I'm trying other mediums to see what keeps it a nice, flat surface. A mist-tinted pale pink latex sample is what I used for the background. Strawberry Land has a very intense color palette, and I could have gone with a blue to make it look like the sky, but I didn't want to introduce too many colors. This piece is also a recreation of one I saw on Pinterest. Per usual. I altered it slightly to make it more my own design though. I don't steal, I take inspiration. In my opinion, nothing really is super original anymore. Most of the ideas are out there, so I don't feel bad for taking inspiration from others. Back to it, I traced the outline of the sun, which I decided to make a strawberry just for fun. I used 3 different shades of green to add depth and perspective to the painting. A pinkish red went on the strawberry sun, and I did a matte coat to seal it all in. After sketching in some plants and the location of the clouds, I debated adding a path. Then I remembered I was trying to keep it simpler, not so many colors, so that strawberry stood out more. So I used some water on my brush and basically erased my gel pen lines. That's another benefit of doing the matte coat in between layers, so if I need to erase something with a little water, I'm not removing any paint, since acrylic is water soluble. Strawberry Shortcake herself, what can I say about her? She's friendly, thoughtful, energetic, creative, and now she's fed up. In fact, she's hanging on by a f***ing thread. I outlined where I wanted the clouds to be, and then I pulled out my secret recipe to make them dimensional. It's just deco art, triple thick medium, mixed with whatever color paint I want to add some depth to. I mixed up some new colors for the flowers in the sun, also showing how easy it is to make my secret recipe. I added multiple layers to the clouds, letting the new layers drip down and create more of a gradual dip down into the flat cloud on the canvas. Then I go to work on the flowers, basing them in yellow, then adding texture with some thick yellow paint dolloped and mixed with my white thick medium to make this little swirl in the centers. Now the sun I regret outlining with my secret recipe. I meant to add depth or texture and instead I created this swirly mess. I paint over it with a couple layers of red so it mostly hides it, but some shows through, somewhat matching the flower's design in the centers. I bring out Strawberry's inlines and transfer them on before going to my paints to pick her color palette. The 80s Strawberry Shortcake has a very distinct color palette, and I feel I did a decent job matching it with my cheap acrylic paints. I'm obsessed with her, by the way, so she will be returning to the channel. After the color blocking, I bring out my markers for outlining. I have a new acrylic set, and a few of them are a little thin, so they take some extra layers, like this dark green I used to outline the ground. Nice and close, I'm adding my final layer of goop to the clouds, showing the dimension it adds. finally, her face, completing the look. Almost though, she needs some polka dots first. As with the Feathers McGraw piece, I thought about using my Cricut for the lettering, but I decided to do them by hand because apparently I hate myself. And I didn't film it either. It took forever and was so small in particular that my head would have been blocking all the footage anyway. I mean, it was all up in that canvas to get the lettering right. I was maybe 2 inches away from it. And I can't forget to add the thread she's hanging on by. Then my signature. I always sign my pieces of art, not for recognition purposes, especially because a lot of what I do is fan art, but for record keeping, I guess. I started doing the month and the year now, along with my signature, so when I look back at my work, I can see the progression or the phases I went through. I hope you enjoyed this trip to Strawberry Land, or Nostalgia Land, wherever you went during this video. Thanks for watching, have a great next 6 days, and I'll see you on the 7th.